It says the curve C has equation y is equal to 16 over 9, 3x minus k. Where x is never equal to k over 3, where k is a positive constant and not equal to 3, right? Find dy dx, given your answer in its simplest form in terms of k. So part A, what I'd want to do first is I would rewrite this algebraically. Now that 16 divided by 9 I can take out, that's just a constant, right? And then it's 1 over 3x minus k, isn't it? So I can actually write this as 3x minus k to the minus 1. Do you guys agree? Yeah. So now I'm going to differentiate. That 16 over 9 is a constant. We're going to use the chain rule, right? Because it's a composite function. So we're going to times by, bring the minus to the front. So minus 1, 3x minus k. Take 1 away from the power minus 2. And then we're going to divide by the inside derivative. 3x goes to 3. Minus k goes to nothing. Yeah. So we're here. And then we can tidy this up now. It's going to be negative. We've got 3 divided by 9 here. 3 goes into 3 once. 3 goes into 9 3 times. So it's going to be 16 thirds, isn't it? 3x minus k to the minus 2. And that would be your answer for part A. Anybody get it correct? Yeah, good stuff. Fantastic. Part B, it says that the point with x coordinate 1 lies on C. Given that the gradient of the curve at P is minus 12, right? Find the two possible values of K. Okay. So part B, we know that the x coordinate is 1, so x is equal to 1, and this is at P. Yeah. And the gradient of the curve is minus 12, right? Well, the gradient of your curve is dy dx, right? So that is telling me that dy dx is equal to minus 12, right? When x is 1. Do you guys agree with that? Yeah. So if that being said, well, that means that, well, I'm going to have minus 16 over 3. That's all dy dx. And then it's going to be 3. Now, we know that x is equal to 1 in this case, right? When we're at p. So be minus k like that to the minus 2. And then this is equal to minus 12. So this should be your equation here. And this will allow you to get k. Everybody happy with that? Yeah, good stuff. Brilliant. So just solving this now, well, what would happen here? Well, the inside bracket is just going to be 3 minus k to the minus 2. To get rid of this, I'm going to times by 3 and divide by minus 16, isn't it? So I'll do that on my calculator. So I'll just do it here, minus 12, and we're going to times by 3 over minus 16, see what we get. So it's going to be the two negatives are going to cancel, aren't they? So I'll just write it like that. So it'll be 12 times 3 over 16. And you guys can see my, yeah, you can. 3 over 16. I get 9 over 4. Yeah. So I'm going to get 3k to the minus 2 is equal to, and what is it? Which way is it? 9 over 4. Like that. So how do I solve this? Well, I'm trying to get rid of the power. Now remember, this minus here is a reciprocal. So algebraically, right, I can actually write this as 3 minus k all to the power of 2. 1 over 3 minus k to the power of 2, which is equal to 9 over 4. And let me just check because my 9 and 4s always get mixed up. Yeah. Yeah. So what I could do is to get rid of that, you can actually raise both sides to the power of minus 1. Just flip them. And actually, it will just become 3 minus k all squared is going to equal 4 ninths. Does that make sense, guys? Yeah, good stuff. And then now we can just square root. So it's going to be 3 minus k is going to equal, remember, we're square rooting. So when we square root that, it's going to be the square root of 4 is 2, square root of 9 is 3, plus or minus. Yeah. So with that being said, we need k. So if I add k on that side like that, and then I move that on that side, well, it will be 3 K will be on that side, it'll be positive. And because it's plus or minus, it's not, it's going to be the same thing. But just imagine it like this. This is a plus, right? So when I move it over, it'll become a minus. And then that minus on the bottom, when I move it to left, it'll become a plus. So it will be the same thing though. But yeah, you can just write like that. Does that make sense, guys? Yeah. So now we're going to figure out what K is by just plugging it in. So the first one's going to be 3 minus 2 thirds, which is 7 thirds. So K is going to equal 7 thirds. And the next one is going to be 3 plus 2 thirds. which is going to be 11 thirds. So these are going to be your two answers. Anybody get this? I'm not sure if I gave you enough time to get to this part, but yeah, anyone get this? Or if you didn't, does that make sense? Yeah, good stuff. Brilliant. So we've done that. And then part C. So it's given also K is less than 3. Find an equation of the normal to C at P. Writing your answer in the form of AX plus BY plus C is equal to 0. So what have we figured out in part B? We figured out the two possible values that K could be, right? But they've given us a bit more information. They've said that K is less than 3. Well, are any of these less than 3? Well, let's find out. Well, 11 over 3 is just a little bit less than 12 over 3, isn't it? Yeah, exactly. SD, that's 3.6 recurring. And then obviously this one here is 2.3 recurring, right? So because K is less than 3, you're just going to say since so K is less than 3 implies that K must be equal to 7 thirds. So in our function here, we're going to be using K equals 7 thirds to figure out values and so on and so forth. Yeah. So what I'm going to do is this is my original formula. Now we're looking for the normal at P, right? Remember from part B, the normal, the gradient of the curve at P was minus 12, wasn't it? Right? So if the gradient of the curve, which is the gradient of the tangent, isn't it? Right? Is minus 12. What would the gradient of the normal be, guys? Fantastic. The negative reciprocal. Yeah. So I'm gonna just say here that normal grad is going to equal a 1 over 12, right? We know that x was 1 at this point P, right? Now, since we know x is 1 and we now know our value of k, we can use that to figure out what y must be. So I'm going to plug in x equals 1 when k equals 7 thirds into my original formula to figure out what y is. Does that make sense, guys? Yeah? Good stuff. Brilliant. So plugging that in, that's going to be y is going to equal 16 over 9 and then 3 lots of 1 minus 7 thirds. And that will give me the answer for what y must be. So I'll put this into the calculator and see what we get. So it's going to be 16 and then 9 and then 3 lots of 1, which is just 3, but I'll put it like that anyway. And then minus 7 thirds. I get 8 over 3. Yeah. So y is equal to 8 over 3. So now the equation of the normal, remember, we've got the 2 points, 1 and 8 thirds, like that. The gradient is 1 over 12. So it's going to be y minus y1, isn't it? So y minus y1 is going to equal m and then x minus x1. So that way it's going to be y minus 8 thirds is going to equal 1 over 12 and then x take 1. Does that make sense, guys? Yeah, all good. Good stuff. Brilliant. So now with that being said, right, we can just rearrange because they wanted it in a certain form, didn't they? What form did they want it in? Give me a sec. It was ax plus by. Yeah, perfect. So what can I do here? Let me times everything by 12 to get rid of everything. So if I times that by 12, like that, that will be 12y. Minus the 12 over 3 would make a 4, right? 8 times 4 is 32. Be like that. And then that 12 will cancel, will just be x minus 1. But then we can just remove the bracket, can't we? So we get that. So then in that case, if I move everything from left to right just to make the x term positive, although it doesn't really matter, right? It's going to be it's going to be 0 is equal to x minus 12y plus 32 take away 1, which is going to be 0 is equal to x minus 12y plus 31. Does that make sense? Which way did they do it? Let me just check. 12. Oh, okay, they've got it the other way. I'm just looking at the answer. Doesn't matter though, because it didn't actually say specific form. Let me just check. X plus by. Yeah, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. So you can write it like that, or you could write it the other way if you times by minus 1. So you're gonna get you'd get uh 12y minus x minus 31 is equal to 0. These are equivalent, same thing, doesn't matter. Happy with that, guys? Make sense? Yeah, good stuff. Perfect. All right, so we've done that. Let's do the next part of this question here. Oops, where is it? Of integration now. Okay. So it's a show using algebraic integration that um, the integral between 1 and 3 of 16 over 9, 3x minus k dx is equal to lambda ln 10, where lambda is a constant to be found. Okay, so um, also, by the way, when you just look at the question, right, the fact that it says given also that k is less than 3, it means that it's part of part D as well. So we're going to use that as a constraint. Yeah, so we're still going to use k equals 7/3. Does that make sense, guys? Because it's part of it. Yeah. So it's like given that, and then you've got C and then you got D. Yeah. So doing that, what are we gonna get? Where are we? So we need to integrate that right now. When we integrate that, how do we do this? We're integrating a fraction. So one thing you should always look for when you're integrating any fraction is you look at the denominator. So what I'll do actually, just I think just to make life a bit easier, yeah? I'm gonna write 1 and 3 there. And then you know this, I can write this as 16 over 9 times by 1 over 3x minus k. Do you guys agree that that's the same thing? Yeah, good stuff. Good stuff. So now, with that being said, what I'm gonna do, right? Remember K 7/3, by the way. So I can actually remove that car now. So let me put 7/3 in. All right. So remember, this is a constant here. I can actually just bring this outside the integral, right? So the 16 over 9, and it's going to be an integral between 1 over 3, and then 1 over 3x minus 7/3, yeah, dx. Now, how do I integrate this? Well, firstly, what you should always look for when you're integrating fractions is ask yourself, well, what happens when I differentiate the denominator? Can somebody tell me, please, what do I get when I differentiate 3x minus 7 over 3? What does that equal to? Exactly. It's equal to 3, isn't it, right? Pretty straightforward. So what that tells me is that, well, if the integral was actually equal to 3 over 3x minus 7 over 3 dx, could somebody tell me what this would integrate to become? Exactly, Kayshawn, right? It would be ln of the denominator, right? This is just a standard integral for ln. Yeah, plus c, obviously. Yeah, good stuff. So with that being said, right? Well, what do we have? Well, we've got a 1 on the top, haven't we? Right? What is the difference between that integral and that integral, guys? Exactly. Or remember, it's going from 3 to a 1, not a 1 to a 3. So we're timesing by a third, aren't we? We're dividing by 3. So the actual integral for the one that we want is just going to be a third of that, and then ln of 3x minus 7/3. Does that make sense, guys? Yeah. So that way we can figure out what that is. We can just evaluate it now. So it's going to be, by the way, I've taken that 16 out, so I won't forget that. I'll put it here. It's going to be the ln. So it's going to be a third, isn't it? ln. Let me just zoom out so you can see all of it actually. It's going to be a third ln, and then it's going to be 3x minus 7 over 3, like that, between 1 and 3. Yeah. And then now we just have to evaluate it, don't we? So, putting that in, it's be 16 over 9. I'll put a big bracket like this. That's going to be a third ln of 3 lots of 3, right? Minus 7/3, like that. Take away, and then a third ln of 3 lots of 1 minus 7/3. Do you guys agree with that? And do I need an extra bracket? I think that's fine. Yeah, yeah, that's all good, right? Perfect. Yeah, true, true. So yeah, yeah, to be fair, when you are integrating with ln, right? Yeah, you should always put mod brackets because sometimes when you evaluate, right, it can be negative. So what I like to do is I just use it without, but if I run into an issue like that and then this maybe is negative, then I just put the modulus and it becomes positive. But yeah, it's a good habit. Whenever you integrate, put modulus signs on it. So um but I think we're okay anyway. We'll see anyway. We'll see. We'll see if we get anything negative. Anyways, let's see. So, if I just evaluate inside anyway, it's gonna be three lots of three minus seven thirds, like that. That will equal 20 over three. Yeah. So that means it becomes 16 over 9, right? And then it's going to be a third ln of, what was it? 20 over 3, yeah? Yeah, 20 over 3. And then like that, minus a third, and then ln, and then what's that? 3 take away 7 thirds. So put that, change that there. I get 2 thirds, yeah? So that becomes 2 thirds like that. Now remember the form that they wanted it in. They wanted it lambda ln 10. Yeah. So let me put that there. So let me grab that. So we have that lambda ln 10. So we need a 10 essentially. So from here, let me just put this there. Like that. So what I'm gonna do next is I'm gonna take out that third. So I've got 16 over 9 and then times by that third. That will give me ln of 20 over 3 minus 2 ln of 2 thirds. Like that. Do you guys agree? Yeah. Perfect. And yeah, as I was saying before, these are both positive, so it's fine. But yeah, good habit. Just put the modulus sign. Yeah, just in case you run into any issues, because the modulus of a negative number will just be positive. Yeah. So now what's that? 16. Let's do the outside. 16 times 1 is 16. 9 times 3 is 27. And then in the middle, right, in this bracket, right, we've got these logs here. What do I do with this for my log laws, guys? Exactly, we divide. So it actually is ln of 20 over 3 divided by 2 over 3, like that, which is 16 over 27, ln, and then we just do 20 over 3, keep change flip, isn't it? Times by the reciprocal, 3 over 2. Goodbye, goodbye, 20 over 2 is 10. So therefore it's 16 over 27, ln, 20 over 2. I'll write it so it's just super clear actually. And then that is just 16 over 27, ln, 10. So therefore, lambda is equal to 16 over 27. That's it.